Thomas, Young Living Diamond, and I'd like to talk about as my feature, I'd like to talk about business building using your mindset and of course products, but not just products, using product in a more organized way. Okay, so I'll teach you about that, but mindset's a big thing for me. So we're going to talk about business building using mindset. First, I want to thank Dr. Oli for putting together this global online symposium. I think it's really awesome, and I was thrilled to be asked to participate. So I hope you guys gain value from this and learn a little bit of what I've done, not only to achieve diamond, but now almost crown diamond, and of course beyond. And I use these principles not just for Young Living, but I use them in actually every part of my life. So all right, let's get started with this. The first thing I'm going to do is mindset, then we'll get into the product piece of it. Okay, so before I start anything, Dr. Oli actually taught me in, well, I was at the London conference last September, and he was talking about how essential oils affect the brain and stimulate different, or activate really different parts of the brain. And one of the things he was talking about was digize and thieves, and how that in particular activates like all parts of the brains, whereas you might have like lemon that activates certain parts of it, like, you know, memory or creativity, or, you know, peppermint could do a certain part of it, you know. But when you have digize and thieves, they do all parts of the brain. And I thought that was really super cool because for me, I find that especially the left and the right hemisphere, like if you're left hemisphere oriented, you're more analytical, whereas if you're right hemisphere oriented in your brain, then you're more creative. And I find that there's somewhat of a disconnect for me between the two. So there's times that most of the time I'm pretty analytical. And then sometimes I have these like bouts of creativity, and I literally have no idea then how to like put it to like make something of it. Like what next, and how do I do this? So I have been using this a lot. Like when I say a lot, it's like every day throughout the day. I've been using digize. I put a couple of drops in my hand, just cup it right over my nose. I did it right before I got on here, actually. Cup it right over my nose. Take deep breaths, and then I dig into what I'm about to teach you about first. So first thing I do is I have a Design Your Life book, a journal. I call it my dream book, but it's a Design Your Life journal. So just go to whatever store and pick up a journal. They're like $1, right, to get a composition book, or maybe you have a journal already, whatever. But make one that's dedicated to designing your life. And I'm going to take it apart. I'm going to show you what I do with it, how I use it. I use it as a tool. It's not just to write. It's not just a gratitude journal. And all those things have great value. But I use this in an entirely different and very specific kind of way. So just like I said, go get one that's dedicated to designing your life. Okay, and you can make it fun and interesting, whatever. But I'm going to show you the categories that I break it down to, and what I work out of every day, and I'll explain how I do that too. Okay, so I start out with I am statements. So if you open up, the first thing you see for me, or it says I am at the top. And then I write a whole bunch of I am statements. Now, some of those things that I put in there, like I am a mother, a loving, caring, encouraging mother, like those that I am, right? But some things, like, and I believe it and I know it, there's some things that I don't believe about myself. And I want to be that, and I aspire to be that. And I just make sure that like that is in there also. And so it's not all the things that are necessarily true yet, but it's me training my brain into believing those things, because you can train your brain. I don't know if all you know that, but I'm telling you, you can train your brain. You could create new neural pathways and really train, like you have that much power that you could train your brain to do what you want it to do. So this is the way to train your brain, the most effective way to train your brain is through visualization, which I'm going to explain in a minute. But first you have to write down the stuff that you want to visualize. So this is what this is for, writing that down. And then when you couple it with the digize, forget it. Or thieves, forget it. You're a real powerhouse. Anyway, so I write down all the things. I am vibrant. I am loved. I am worthy of profound success. Now, I did not believe that this is years old, this particular journal. When I wrote that, I was like having all sorts of self-worth issues, really. I was like, I don't know why. I mean, I can't really attach it to anything. I just didn't feel worthy of it. So I wrote, I am worthy of profound success. I am brilliant. I'm in a beautiful, healthy, loving, satisfying relationship. I'm physically fit. I am a great listener. I mean, all these things that I'm a leader. I bring hope where people feel there isn't any. I wrote, I am always learning new and exciting things. I am surrounded by people who care. I am loyal. I mean, just giving you an example. I am happy. I just like kept writing all these things, like a ton, like pages of I am statements. Again, both things that are true about myself and then things that I aspire to be. And then I would read this. I'll tell you, this was like the hardest part of my entire journal or Design Your Life book when I started this, was the I am statements. This was the hardest thing to like really get to and swallow and continue to work on. It brought up a lot of emotion for me as I did it, but it was totally worth it because I grew into you know, that which I wanted to be. I really grew into, and that was the big piece of it, was writing it down. Okay, then I write in things here like my goals with Young Living, so career goals with Young Living, and then career goals in general, because I do work. I built to diamond, just so everyone is clear out there. I built to diamond while working full-time in my career. So for those who are like, but I work and how am I going to do this and all that, I did it. Okay. And I still do not do Young Living full-time, although I absolutely adore Young Living and I have nothing but gratitude for the lifestyle that it's given me. I feel very big and purposeful in my life, and I do other things as well, like business-wise. I do other things, and yet I maintained being really consistent in my Young Living business and very focused in my Young Living business. Again, I'll talk about that a little bit more in a bit, but by remaining very focused and consistent, I was still able to reach diamond. Now, I didn't necessarily reach diamond in 2 years, but who cares? I don't know, who cares, right? Do you have to reach diamond in 2 years? It's a great goal, and if you have that time and you want to put that in, it's a great goal. But I'm really speaking to the people who think that you can't do this at all because you work full-time or you have other sorts of obligations. Now, I will say, for me, there did come a bit of a sacrifice at some point of like where my time was going to go. And I decided I didn't sacrifice work so much. What I sacrificed was my social life, quite frankly. That's where my sacrifice came in, was in my social life. But a very short amount of time. That was that's where I sacrificed. Okay. So sometimes Young Living has like the global leadership cruise, or they might have some other contest that they're running. So if they're running a contest and I feel really like I really want to engage in that contest, then I write it down, and I write down I am the winner, or I am going to whatever the destination is, or whatever it is, and I write it out as if it's already happened. I even put pictures in. See, so this was from a few years ago when the diamond trip, actually this wasn't for the diamond trip, this was for, I think it was a leadership incentive. I can't remember. It was a few years ago, and I put it in there, and I didn't win because I didn't really care about it, but I just wanted to see if I could play around with it and visualize it. But honestly, I really didn't care if I won. So, but I put the pictures in there and I still looked at it every day. But you want to know something crazy? The diamond trip then, like a year later or 2 years later, was at this exact place. So I ended up going anyway. Isn't that nuts? I mean, it's really crazy. When you start to do this and write it down, you're going to freak yourself out, really, because a lot of this stuff comes true. If not all of it. I mean, at different points, some things will come true more quickly than other things, but it like, you know, or it'll come to you, you'll attract it more quickly, but it comes true. It's really crazy. Okay, maybe you have goals for certain ranks. So write down those goals, whatever that rank goal is, and write down. What I did is I wrote down how much I wanted my volume to be per month, and then how much I wanted my so I wrote the rank on top, and then how much I wanted my volume to be per month, and how much I wanted my check to be per month. Okay, so I wrote that down, and here's a trick to this: don't settle, right? Because this is where I was, where it's like hard to think bigger and bigger and bigger, especially if you're starting from zero, or if you're already struggling. But don't settle. So like if you wanted to be Royal Crown Diamond, you need to have 1.5 million in volume, which many of you per month, which many of you probably could never even fathom. And years ago, I could not fathom that myself. So in my visualization, instead of putting, and in my book, instead of putting 1.5 million, I put 15 million. I made it like what seemed ridiculous to me, right? 15 million per month. And then over time, 1.5 million didn't really seem like a lot to me because 15 million was what I was going for. You see what I'm saying? So you really kind of mess with your head that way, but like in a good way. You mess with your head a little bit. Okay, so write down if you have your goals. Hopefully you have some goals, some rank goals, because keep in mind, it's not just about, the money is great. Please do not downplay that, because honestly, the money is fantastic. And I am so happy that Young Living gives us this kind of lifestyle. But it's more than what you could do with the money. Like there's things you probably find really important in your life and valuable in your life. And maybe lack of finances is holding you back from doing that. So it could be anything from giving to charity, adopting children, or maybe taking vacations you were never able to take, or spending more time with your family. I don't know. Whatever it is, please do not downplay that, because especially in our society, in our culture, having money really helps a lot in things that you want to do and contributes to your overall satisfaction and happiness. It is not the only thing that brings happiness. I know that. It's not. But I'm telling you, being broke really sucks. I was broke for like it was very stressful, very stressful being broke. I will take this any day over being broke. And I'm able to do so much more for myself, for my family, and in outreach. In fact, just a quick story, I said to my accountant when I had gotten my returns back, and it said, you know, she showed me what my charitable deductions were, and I knew that I had like way more than that. So I, quick sent a message like, did I not give you all the appropriate paperwork to see the deductions that we had? She said, you don't need any more. Like you overgave. And you know what? That like melted my heart, because there was a time, again, I could barely afford to eat. Forget about giving so much in charity that I can't even put it all on my taxes. Like it was just, anyway, it's a great feeling. Okay, here's something else. Let's say you're having events, okay? And again, I'm getting more specific here because I want you to understand. Let's say you're having events and you're having trouble getting people to those events. Well, you're gonna write in here exactly how you want it to look as if it's happened. So I wrote, this is when I was starting having events, like again, several years ago, and it was like hit or miss of how many people would show up. So I wrote, my team floods events. We keep expanding our meeting space to meet the demands of our rapidly growing network. Our team grows fast. I mean, I just wrote it out there like it wasn't even true at the time. Now it's true. But at the time, it was not true at all. So I wrote it down because I wanted to like start seeing it and visualizing it, and I wanted it to become true, and it did become true. Okay, I wrote a section on slim and fit, right? Doing all that. And when I wrote this section, I wrote it at a time when I had a major back injury that I'd had for years. I couldn't even walk without that knocking me out for a week. Now, just today, my trainer said to me this morning, he said that the stuff that I'm able to do in training, he can't do with any one of his clients. Like I'm his most advanced client, of everyone he works with. And of course I'm thinking, well, that's probably because everyone you work with is 85, but no, that's not true. Like I'm doing good, right? So I'm doing good. And it took me a long time to get to the place where I'm doing this well. So I wrote about that and everything that I want. I mean, I break it down. I put dates on it, all of that stuff. Don't make it hang out in the ethers. Like get bold. Write your dates down, make it very specific, because that's the key. Get really specific and visualize. Okay, I have a whole section on relationships. Now, I'm married. I've been married for a long time. I've been with my husband for almost 20 years. And I still wrote a whole thing on relationships in here. It was like describing my ideal relationship, but not describing it like as it related to my husband, which I know sounds weird, but I wanted at this point in my life, what is my ideal relationship? What would that look like? Because obviously that changes over time. So what would it look like? So I wrote it as if I wasn't married and all that. I wanted what would my ideal relationship look like? And you know something? It made my relationship with my husband, which is very strong, but it made it even stronger because I found that the things I was writing, were, first of all, it did describe him in the end. It did describe what I already had. And then it made me have this like flood of gratitude that I have him in my life and that he is my partner. And I just I loved on him even more, and I had such gratitude for him. And it actually made our relationship even stronger and better. And not only is it wonderful for us, but I think it's great for our kids to be able to witness that and, you know, that kind of healthy relationship. So that's another one. Finance. Okay, this was a biggie because when I started writing this out, it was like bad. I was not in a great place financially. So I wrote a check to myself here for $10 million. And I even put a date on it. $10 million I wrote a check for myself because like even now it's a little much. I can't even fathom it, but I'm getting better. I really am. I'm getting better. But the things I did write, I am debt free. My bills are paid with ease. None of this was true when I wrote this. I cried when I wrote this section, quite honestly. I have the time and money freedom to vacation wherever and whenever I want. My bank accounts are robust and constantly being filled and replenished. Making money is fun and easy. How's that? Because I thought it was really hard at that time. And it goes on and on and on. And what I wrote, you know, when I wrote this, none of it was true, but I really wanted it to be true. And it's become true. This is actually where my life is right now. And it's been this way for, you know, 2 or 3 years. But when I wrote this, it was not there at all. It was not there. And it was very emotional for me to write, but it's come true. And you see how I'm a sticker person. So I put nice sparklies around it. I put abundance oil on it. On the check, you can see there's like a little stain from abundance oil. Anyway, that was a big deal for me. And I wrote more and more and more in here. Oh, here's one that I just wrote recently. So one of the diamonds had been saying that she was posting in the diamond group saying that she had 10,000 new members in that particular month. And I don't know what month it was, but one of the months she had 10,000 new members. And I was like, holy goodness, 10,000. Like I realized in that moment when she wrote that I can't even fathom that number. I couldn't fathom it. So I came to my book and I wrote it down. And I wrote, there are 10,000 plus new members in our organization every month. And I wrote it and now I'm visualizing it, looking at it every day. And I'm trying to get myself to a place that I believe that, because I don't believe it yet. And I do, my organization does great. We do large numbers. So I thought not 10,000 a month. So that was really incredible. So now I'm training my brain for that, for 10,000 a month. I also put how many diamonds I want to have in my organization because I want to be able, of course, to help as many people achieve their rank. And my stuff just then comes with the territory. So I wrote about what I want to help them with. Okay, home. I wrote all about my home and how I want it to be. And you want to know something? This is at a time like my home is 100 years old and needs literally every part of it shredded up and, you know, redone and all that. And now we're just about to start. We've been doing it now all along. And we're just about to start our last major project. And then my home will be exactly what I dreamed about and what I wrote in here. And I can't believe it. I can't believe that's where we're at. So I wrote about vacation and fun, and it just goes on and on and on. You know, and I put pictures all through it. I put, you know, stickers. I put oils through it. Okay, so here it is. Now you've written it down, and that should not be a one-time shot. Like you should be very actively using this, okay? So it's not like just a single time. Like you very actively use this. Then what you do is you go in here into your book every day and you spend time just visualizing it, right? Because you probably don't believe a lot of the stuff you wrote. Some of it you'll be able to believe and some of it you can't believe. So you're going to spend some time just visualizing it. So take your oil, take your digestion, your lemon, your peppermint, your thieves, whatever speaks to you. Take something, okay? And really, you know, abundance, highest potential. That's like my newest favorite, like to really work with. I'm very much attracted to that right now. So smelling highest potential. And then go into your book and take some time and just visualize it. Now, I do this every day. I do it in the morning. I do it in the middle of the day if I need to. I do it when I'm going to sleep. Like, I really spend time just visualizing these different pieces of it. In the beginning, or a few years ago when I had first put it together, I would like read my whole book every day. Now it's so big, I guess I could make the time, but I just don't have the time. Like, I get more focused on pieces of it. And I just read it every day and I visualize it every single day. And not just imagining it, but like you want to feel it. Like it has to touch your heart. And again, what I would say if I was going to give some more advice to this, it's think big and dream big and be afraid. I always have this thing I say, be afraid and do it anyway. Like be afraid about it. Like make it so much that it like shakes you up. And almost to where you want to say, I don't need that. If you find yourself in that position, talking yourself out of it, like I'm not that kind of person, then that's the thing. That's your thing. That's your obstacle, and you don't even know it. So if you're almost like angry about it and putting your hands up and all that, then like I'm going to give you a little shortcut to your thing. That's it right there. Okay. That's your obstacle. So take that and say, all right, what's going on with me that I'm having such a visceral, like, ugh, that I can't do that, because there's a piece in it for you. And when you get some resolution around that piece, you're going to see that you propel forward from that point on. And it's really cool when that happens. So use this book as a major tool for yourself in building your business. Now, you might say, well, how in the world in the end does that build my business? Well, you have to get in a certain mindset just to be able to accomplish anything that you want to do. You have to really get into a certain mindset. But what happens too is that you're only going to grow as much as you grow. So each level of success, or each rank, however you want to define it, each level of success requires a certain amount of personal development and leadership development. So you're going to grow as quickly as you grow. So as you do this stuff and you're able to imagine it and accept it and receive it, then you're going to start to see opportunity come around all over the place, probably in places you never even expected, and sometimes in places you do expect. So, anyway, use it in that way. Okay, so I told you I'm going to talk about building business through mindset and through products. That was the mindset piece of it. I'm going to talk about the product piece of it, and then how I weave the two together, okay? Because that's what I do. I weave them together. The product piece of it. I tell people now, for a long time we've been teaching, teaching about the Young Living lifestyle, and I think that's an important concept to get out there, but we also have to be able to change with the market a little bit. Now I've been telling people, find something you're really jazzed about, and get focused on it. So maybe you're jazzed about the skincare line. So get like really focused on that. Get like really good at it and be the skincare lady. And maybe you're focused on things having to do with emotion. For me, it's been fitness. I'm really focused on fitness, and I started a program called Living Fit Club. You could go check it out at livingfit.club. And it's for everyone. It's for all Young Living. I've been doing this for months. I've been actually, it's a program I created over 15 years ago that I used with my clientele. I have had a practice in natural, I've been a natural health practitioner for 18 to 20 years. I have to think back. Incorporating mindset and like everything I'm talking about now, incorporating mindset and incorporating lifestyle choices and mental emotional health and all that. So it's a program I had developed for my clients like over 15 years ago. And just in the last year or so, I was feeling very, called, I guess is the word, like called to really bring it out in a different way. Now I do it with my clients one-on-one or in small groups and never online. And now I do it online. So I created this site and this portal called Living Fit Club, and you go to livingfit.club, and let me just explain more so how I put product together. Now you could either do it in this way and you could ride off the Living Fit Club, you're welcome to do that, or you could do it in whatever way resonates with you, but I want you to understand the thought process behind it. So Living Fit Club, what I did was take part of what I did was take products that in Young Living that we have, like amazing products, right? So I took those products and I put them together in a program for people to deal with, it's not just weight management, but it works for weight management, but also with their overall health, right? So that was more my focus, because you could just do the sleek line and all the stuff that Young Living does for weight management, and that's awesome. And this does not conflict with that. This is a more broad program, though, where it has the product and also the mindset piece of it built in, like this journaling piece of it. In Living Fit Club, we have it so that I prompt all the questions. I give you all the sections that you would write everything out, and you have like an activity to do every other day or so, where you would fill in your journal. So it's way more guided, I should say. It's way more guided journaling in there. Okay, here's the products that I chose to use because I just think they're absolutely amazing and imperative to use. So very simple. We use 4 products as the core products. So Ningxia, because I think everybody should be using Ningxia. Ningxia is a great antioxidant infusion. Infused with essential oils. It's great antioxidant juices. I can't say enough about Ningxia. I just think everyone should be on it. Antioxidants are very helpful with slowing the aging process in general. So very good to have Ningxia. The other thing I do is nitro. Okay, nitro. Here, Ningxia Nitro, I absolutely love. I know there's some B vitamins in it. I'm convinced, yes, there's a bunch of B vitamins in it, which I am convinced is what makes me feel awesome, because I have that MTHFR gene thing, and so I need to take in more B vitamins, and this is like, forget it. I love it. It makes me feel so good. So these two, it also gives you that nice boost of energy, but it's not the like crazy caffeine kind of energy. That's not how it is. It's more about cognitive fitness and how it works with your brain. And anyway, so these two are main pieces of it. Then we have Master Formula, your multi-mineral, multivitamin, making sure you're getting all your nutrients. The whole idea of Living Fit Club is that you're going to have a lot of nutrient-dense foods and nutrient-dense supplements, and you're really nourishing yourself. It's all about nourishment, nourishing yourself. So we use Master Formula, which is a great, again, multi-mineral, multivitamin. And then we use one of the shakes. So this is the Sleek Shake. I find this like super convenient to travel with. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Look how you could be on this program like in travel, or just even if you didn't do the program, but just use Young Living products. Like, is it super easy to travel with or what? So anyway, so I use Sleek Shake. And when I say travel, that includes like going to work. If you're working full time, like, hello, can it be any simpler than throwing this in your bag and staying on track? So you could use this. They also have like the Pure Protein Completes, by all means. Do that. My family's really into that. I'm a little funky with dairy, but so I really like the Sleek Shake, and that's what I use. So these are the 4 main products that we use. As additional products or enhancing products, we use the CitraSlim, Sleek CitraSlim, which is fat burning, so really good for your metabolism, and Zing, because I am like ridiculously obsessed with this, and I am not a soda drinker at all, but this is very lightly carbonated, and again, gives me that kind of energy. I'm assuming there's more B vitamins in this. There are, so even more B vitamins. So B vitamins in general, by the way, are great for your, they're part of the building blocks of your hormones and your neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are hormones, but the neurotransmitters are responsible for how you think and feel. So I think it's really important to nutritionally have the appropriate foods, because I believe food first, but foods and supplements that support your neurotransmitters. Now, I do have a slight bias in that I was a university cognitive psych researcher, so as an undergrad, so I learned and taught neurotransmitters all the time. At any rate, so that's what we use as the core program for Living Fit Club. From that, we say, again, food first. So we take them through a whole journey of food, teaching about nutrition and all that, and what foods to eat, when to incorporate, when and how to incorporate the supplements. And just getting people really feeling good, like into understanding what real holistic wellness is, because I think that there's a lack of understanding of what real holistic wellness is, or a holistic lifestyle. Like, people think that holistic wellness is, instead of taking this, we take that, instead of taking this that's synthetic and pharmaceutical, then we take this that's more natural. And that's not what holistic means. And it's kind of sad to me that it's turned into that. And I know that's not Young Living's message at all either. Like, we don't treat anything here, that's not what it's for. It's supporting the body and knowing it knows how to function normally. Like, we're just giving it the tools, which you're doing with food also, is it hopefully giving it the right tools so that it just maintains normal function. And that is the beauty of all of this, is in supporting the systems and maintaining normal function here. So hopefully that's what your focus is in anything that you're doing. And again, the holistic lifestyle is not about trading this for this. It's about saying that, we want to look at you comprehensively. We want to see where you're at emotionally and mentally. We want to see where you're at physically, of course, too. We also want to know where you're at financially. If you're really struggling financially, it's very hard to live a holistic life, not only because you can't afford it, but you have a major stress. Like, I believe that God intended for us to live a very abundant life, where we're supposed to live in God's image. And, and to me, God's image is that of perfection, right? Or a certain perfection, however we want to define that. But, that we should live an abundant life. And when I say abundant, I don't mean just money. I mean, and I hope it doesn't come across that way, or that you misunderstand it that way. But it's okay to have money. Mary Young said years and years ago, I was on the first silver retreat that ever existed. I think it was in like 2007. I was at the silver retreat, and Mary Young said something there that was so poignant that it never escaped my mind. Like I never forgot it. She said, good, and she said it very boldly, and I really dig bold women. She said, good people with money do good things, and bad people with money do bad things. And we need more good people with money. And I couldn't agree more with that. Like, we really need more good people with money to do more, you know, to spread it out there and spread the love. I mean, I look at it like a pebble in the water. Each one of us is a pebble in the water, right? And how it trickles out, and how your message trickles out, and how you trickle out, you know, that is significant, especially to those around you. But you could reach an even wider circle depending on what kind of example you are and what you attract into your life. So if you're sitting here, even after I'm talking about this, and you're like, oh my God, she talks so much, and what is she saying? I don't know where to begin. You know, I want you to think where you begin is with you, okay? So you begin with you. You begin by using the product. For sure, you'd be getting yourself on a daily regimen, whether it's with oils and or the product. It should be a lot of it. Of course, we have the cleaning products. I mean, everything really starting to transfer into this holistic lifestyle, so you could speak about it passionately. You know, have some passion for this. Why not? Don't be afraid. I mean, really, there's always going to be people out there who are like not digging what you do. So what? So what? The haters are always going to be around. It doesn't matter. So you need to build yourself up. And some of the ways to do it, of course, is through this book and through your own personal development. And some of the ways to do it is to really draw a line in the sand and create some boundaries on who you're willing to spend your time with. You become the 5 people you spend the most time with. So I want you to look at your circle, look at the 5 people you're surrounded by, and decide if that's how you want to think and feel, right? Because you're being influenced by that. Now, here's the flip side to it. You get to be an influencer as well. So start to think, you know, self-assess. Are you a complainer? Do you find fault a lot in other people? Is there like a blame game going on? Do you take personal responsibility? Do you feel good? Are you generally happy? Are you sad and angry? And admit it. You know, so it's not just about feeling great all the time, because that's just like ridiculously inauthentic, right? We all have a full range of emotion that's very appropriate. So can you be authentic in that? Can you be vulnerable without, you know, vomiting on everyone or getting like too vulnerable? You know, really looking at, and by the way, someone who's really great at discussing that is Brene Brown, Dr. Brene Brown. Her books have really been great for me. Also, Daring Greatly, I think, was the first one that I read. There's several of them, but Dr. Brene Brown, get tuned into her. She has videos on YouTube even, but you know, really starting to assess where you are at, because when you get on more solid ground and feel more comfortable with who you are, and more comfortable then of course using the product and living a holistic lifestyle and having a message out there that's very positive, and a positive message doesn't mean things never go wrong. Things go wrong. You know, I'm someone who admits all the time that I don't like to, I feel very vulnerable with this. I feel very vulnerable going online and being live with people, right? Because I don't know why I do. I just do. And I talk all the time. I don't know what it is. It took me so long just to make this video for you guys. And I feel very comfortable with the content, but you know, it's my own little mind mess that I call it the mind mess. It's my own little mind mess that I continue to go through and work on. And instead of cowering and hiding under a rock or in a hole, I have challenged myself to make sure that I come out of it and that I stay out of it. And I have my times of retreat, but that I really, you know, stay out of it, because I know I have a purpose here. And I know that, you know, I could really help people. I knew from, you know, what got me into the holistic living to begin with was when I was 18 and I almost died. I got a virus. I almost died. They thought I had cancer. I'd been diagnosed with cancer for a week. It was a crazy, crazy time. And it wasn't cancer. They had misdiagnosed me, but I did have a virus that was even worse and was about to kill me right then and there. And I was forced to change my whole life. And it was a very, very much you hear come to Jesus moments. And it was a very come to Jesus moment, you know, and the promise that I made, here I am in the hospital and I can't even communicate anymore, and I could feel my whole system shutting down, and all the doctors surrounding me. At this point, they thought I couldn't, like see or know them there, like see them, but I could see and hear them. And I remember saying, okay, God, like something's this is bad. Like, it's bad. I know I'm in a really bad situation and I don't know how it got here, and I do, and I don't know, but there's a message for this, and I know that. So I'm like, I will change whatever I have to change. Just make it really clear for me. Whatever you want me to do, even if I stand alone, I'm willing to do it. So even if I'm the trailblazer, even if everyone thinks I'm crazy, even if, people throw stones, whatever it is, metaphorically, like, even if that's the case, that if I feel it true in my heart and that it feels divinely inspired, then I will continue to do it, or I will do it anyway. And that's the sort of thing that gets me, doing this. That's the sort of thing that got me to develop a Living Fit Club, or to go into, to be a holistic practitioner to begin with, when I was very much on a conventional course in research. And it moved me over. Now, I'm not against anything conventional. I want to be clear about that too. So I didn't come from like, that's bad and this is good. In fact, what I have found is that my conventional training has been very validating for the holistic community. And I wish that some of my peers in the conventional world were to kind of be able to see that, because I feel that there's a lot of supportive evidence besides the empirical data looking at people doing really well. There's a lot of supportive data that just how we know about physiology that would make sense for what we do. So I'm very much into like, let's look at what normal is first. Let's do normal. Let's do normal. And that's why we say with Young Living, and I love this, and Gary has been saying this for years and years and years. I've been with Young Living since, the second time around, since 2004. And I've heard Gary speak a million times, and I've heard his private trainings, and I've seen him obviously at convention and online and whatever. And he always says the same thing. This is not here to treat you, and it's not all about oils. Like, you have to look at your whole life. You have to look at every piece of it and really get real with yourselves. You have to look at all those pieces. This is here to maintain normal living, normal function, normal physiology. That's what we have here. And that's exactly how food works. And I love that, because food is normal to the human body. Good food, right? Whole foods. That's normal to the human body. The synthetic processed garbage is not. But real whole foods is normal to the human body. The fact that he created products with that intention and was able to bring even the essential oils to us in a way with that intention and that literalness of what it does is in maintaining normal health. I mean, you have pure gold sitting here in your hands. Don't let that be missed, right? Because that's part of what's going to drive your passion. If you really understand about what you have here in these products that he creates and how much thought goes into what he's doing and why he's doing it. There's a purpose to every single product in Young Living. And if you really are able to tap in and tune in to what it is that Gary had as his mission, and now he's taken all the staff and the people that work for Young Living and gotten them into that same vision, you will realize that we have pure gold here. And again, hopefully then, it will help you step out into the world more boldly, more passionate, to say, hey world, I have something here. Now, that's not to vomit the information on the world, but it's to say, when something comes to you, here's a phrase that I use all the time. If I had something that could help you with that, would you be interested in hearing about it? Now, I say the same thing whether it comes to product stuff or to business stuff, because really it's about lifestyle. I don't approach anyone with product or business, I approach them with lifestyle. But if they come to me with something that product makes more sense, I discuss product. If they come to me with something where the business makes more sense, I discuss business with them. I am open to discussing whatever they need, whatever would fulfill their needs. I'm making it more about them and not my agenda. If you are afraid about speaking about business, then you are not understanding Young Living. You're not understanding holistic living, because holistic living is that, and Young Living is that. It's wellness, purpose, and abundance. And the business opportunity is part of this whole thing, part of being a leader, part of being a member. Now, for you, the business opportunity may go as far as I'll share it with a couple of friends and it'll pay for my product. Great. That's great. Okay. For some of you, it might be a little bit more than that. You want to pay off a few bills. For some of you, it might want to be freedom, and this extraordinary life. For me, the first mission was, of course, paying for my bills, was being able to work a little bit less. And then it was really peace of mind. That's what I wanted. That was my it's still I have peace of mind now, but peace of mind is an absolute primary motivation for me. Peace of mind. And Young Living was able to give that to me. As successful I was in all the other stuff that I'd done and still do, peace of mind came with Young Living. That's where it came from. And then again, that's then where my gratitude comes in and why I feel so good about sharing this with people, because if I didn't share it, I'd be selfish. Why would I keep such an opportunity to myself? That's selfish. That's what you define that as. That's being selfish. So you have something here, and even if you might be concerned about bringing it to the world, you might be concerned about rejection, you might be concerned about being laughed at, or maybe not being able to effectively speak it. I'm going to say that happens to all of us, okay? That's very normal. Even for someone who's at my level, being a diamond and somebody who has done this for a really long time and who's successful and even financially successful and all that, I still hear people say things. Not as often, but I do. Every once in a while, I'll still hear people kind of like, I don't know, be snarky about it. Whatever. So what? So what? I'm not forcing anyone to want to have a better life. Why would I do that? I am looking for the people who already want it, because those people exist. But if I don't tell them that this is here, how are they supposed to know that they could maybe find what they're looking for through this or through us? How are they supposed to do it or know if I don't tell them? You see what I'm saying? So I always say I want to give people the opportunity to say no, just like I want to give them the opportunity to say yes. And that's why I can't be quiet about what we do. So I'm very clear, like even when I'm doing my talks, right? I do a lot of one-on-one, but sometimes I do group classes still, or home parties or whatever. But, I always say to people, like, if this didn't resonate with you, that's okay. It doesn't resonate with everyone. Or like for me, my story was starting Young Living, which I didn't even start with, and I probably should have. I was first introduced to Young Living in '99. I was pregnant with my daughter, and somebody had suggested I start using, I don't know what it was, but it was Young Living, use this essential oil. I thought she was insane. I thought she was crazy. Like I didn't get it. She didn't explain it very well. I also didn't really like her, quite frankly. But so anyway, so she would, she said, try this. And I said no, and I totally rejected it. It wasn't until a few months later that another friend who I really respected and trusted, she brought it up to me again, to have something in the house. And I said, okay, but I still didn't really understand it at that point. It wasn't until, and I had used things, but I used Young Living and I used different brands. And like I said, I really didn't understand it. And then I started to see things like this works, like there's something to this. So it was in 2004 that I found Young Living again. And I've been with Young Living ever since. And it, again, what a huge, huge, huge difference it has made in my life, and what a big impact it's made. And I'd be really selfish to not be able to share it with other people. But I tell people, I'm not one of those that believed it right away. Like I didn't. I'm like the biggest skeptic. Like I did not believe it right away. And when somebody brought up the business opportunity to me, I was like, what business? What are you talking about? Business opportunity? I'm like, don't these MLMs make like 82 cents a month? And most people, all the cliche stuff that people say, don't most people fail? And yeah, because most people don't work. That's the facts. Like if you can't fail if you're working. You can only fail if you quit. That's it. That's it. That's the only condition to failing, is to quit. Quit. Do nothing, right? If you quit or do nothing, then you will fail at this. But if you take even small actions every day, consistent actions every day, eventually you're going to get somewhere. It may not grow as quickly as you want it to grow, but it's going to grow. It will, and you're going to have times. Business does not look like this constant uptrend. That's not legitimate real business. It's not a constant uptrend. Real business looks like, you have your peaks and valleys. As you're growing, you have these peaks and valleys. Sometimes you plateau for a period of time. Then that's the time when I have plateaued. I go back into myself. I go back to my book. I start to reassess where I'm at. How am I thinking? What are my goals? What are my actions to meet those goals, right? Am I doing the kind of actions that it would require? Some of you may say, but what kind of actions are those? Well, for you, it might be being present on social media more and educating more that way. It could be having more classes and having more gatherings and having, I don't know, it looks like activity. It really does. It looks like activity. So if you don't have any activity, then you're not going to grow at all. So it should look like activity. In some way, an income producing activity. So income producing activity is prospecting and finding prospects and following up with them. That's like your biggest income producing activity. And I will tell you something else here. I absolutely suck at follow-up. It's terrible. Like, it's embarrassing. It really is. It's embarrassing. And at this point still, this many years later, I'm trying to get better at it. And even with being terrible at it, I have still gotten here. I'm still diamond. I'm almost crown diamond. Like, I'm still able to do it. So you don't have to be perfect at all the pieces. You just have to do something. You have to be willing to commit and to be consistent and to do something. And remember, your target market is not everybody. It's not, because then you'd be wasting your time. It's not everyone. Your target market is you. So wherever you're at in that given moment, wherever you're at, and write down. I tell my team, like my leaders, I have them write down the words that define themselves, and your I am section will do that as well. Write down the words that define you. Maybe you're a mom, maybe you're a fitness trainer, maybe you're, I don't know, maybe you're into yoga, maybe you're a full-time worker, maybe you have a job, maybe you're in the corporate world. I don't know. There's something, there's a whole list of things that are who you are and where you're at. And that's your audience. Maybe you are in the corporate world and you want to get out. That's your audience then. Your audience are other people who want to get out of the corporate world. You see what I'm saying? So whoever you are is who your target market is, because that's the market you could be most authentic with. That's the one where you're able to draw in the most people and really connect with them. And again, that your market could change over time, and it should, because you're changing and growing. So your market should change over time. But get focused on who your market is and appeal to them. You speak their language already. That is your easiest market, is to focus on those who are just like you. Okay? Well, I could go on and on and on forever talking. I hope you got something out of this. Again, I wanted to just touch upon business building using your mindset and using product. If you want to learn more about Living Fit Club, you could do it yourself. You could either do it on your own, create your own thing, or it doesn't even have to be with fitness. It could be with, maybe you come up with an emotional, protocol, or maybe, emotionally supportive protocol. Maybe you come up with, ways to work just with the skincare line, whatever it is, whatever works for you. For some people, it's going to be just drink Ningxia. Like your whole focus is going to be just on Ningxia or Ningxia and Nitro. Whatever works for you. If you can tap into the Living Fit Club program if you want people to be in that and have it be guided. And we have a Facebook community, and we have an online portal, and there's a lot of supportive information. If you want to be tapped into that, you go to livingfit.club. So not .com, livingfit.club, and you'll be able to tap into that. Of course, you could always message me for any questions that you might have. So again, thank you. I'm Jahan Thomas, Young Living Diamond. Thank you again to Dr. Oli, and of course to Gary and Mary for all that you pour into the field constantly. And the gratitude, there's no words for the gratitude. So thank you for all listening, for all of you for listening to me. Hopefully you lasted this long and didn't get too like, oh my God, she doesn't shut up and her accent stinks, I hope you got something out of this. I'd love to hear from you. If you could find me on Facebook, you could find my page at facebook.com/official Jahan Thomas. On Instagram as Jahan Thomas. I'd love to hear from you and to help you along and see how you do with all this. All right. Thank you again for listening. I really appreciate it. And see you soon.